Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is the last day of September. It's Monday again, the 30th, and tomorrow is officially October 1st, the beginning of fourth quarter, and I figure it's no better time than now to give you guys this video. It's one of the biggest problems that entrepreneurs, work at home, business owners, resellers, especially on eBay and other platforms, one-offs, and just people who work for themselves remotely, home office, you work in the middle of your living room, whatever it is, have problems with. And it's absolutely positively discipline and time management. Let me explain to you guys what I'm talking about, because I think all of you in this chat or watching this video can, in some little bit of fashion, form, or otherwise, compare to this, essentially. So I do a lot of store reviews and audits for people. And when I do store reviews and audits for them, whatever day I start, I have them screenshot their active number of listings. Say it's 450, right? And we will go through the process of fixing their listings and doing all the things that I do for store audits and reviews. And the other thing that I tell everyone is nothing I have you fix or review or change on an eBay store or a listing or whatever is going to result in more sales unless you are consistently listing. So a week later, we go and look at their active listings. And let's say they're averaging 2 items per day they're selling, right? Out of their 450 listings, they're selling 2 per day. So in 7 days, they've sold 14 items. Off of the 450 they started with, well, of course, that's 436 listings left. And if I log into your account a week from now and you have 436 listings, what does that tell me? It tells me that you didn't list anything. If you sold 14 items and you're 14 less than where you started, you couldn't possibly have listed anything. The only way that's possible is if you went out and you listed 20 or 30 items and then you ended 20 or 30 items because you sold them somewhere else or you just took them down and got rid of them. That's always a possibility, but in most cases it's rare and it doesn't really happen. If you are listing consistently, then I should see an increase in the number of your listings. And that doesn't happen for a lot of the people that I do reviews and audits from. It does happen for a lot of them. Many of them do it. A lot of them do not. And this goes beyond eBay selling, listing, whatever it is that you do. If you work from home or you're an entrepreneur or a business owner and you have the ability to do whatever it is you want to do all day, with great power comes great responsibility. That's kind of an old line, right? Cliche, but it's true. If you have the freedom and the privilege to wake up, come down the stairs, get breakfast, and then sit at a computer all day, a la me, you have to be disciplined enough to not turn on the TV. How many of my videos have you guys watched, other than a couple random ones, where you've ever seen the TV on? Probably none. I watch YouTube. I don't generally watch TV. We watch shows at night, but not during the day while we're working. If anything, we listen to stuff, but you won't hardly ever see that on while I'm working. You have to focus. You have to plan. And so there's 3 fixes I can give everyone. These are 3 fixes that work for me, because I will tell you guys, I am probably a very, very aggressive case of undiagnosed ADHD. I cannot focus on anything. I can't stay on task, and I am a multitasker to a fault, where I try to do too much at one time. It's not that I don't get anything done, it's that I'm trying to get too much done all at one time, and I can't just get a task done and move on to the next. I have to be all over the place on my computer, recording, doing all this stuff. So 3 things that helped me, whether you have the same problem I have or if you're just bad at time management. 1 is to create a to-do list, a checklist, whatever you want to call it, on your notepad, on your phone, on your computer. I have them all the time where I pull them up. I'll pull it up for you guys. I have these to-do lists right here. I have tons of them, and that's probably part of my problem. But create yourself a checklist, to-do list for the day and for the week, short-term and long-term, so you know what you have to get done. If it's not in front of you, a lot of people tend to forget about tasks, or they also tend to out of sight, out of mind, if that makes sense. Oh, I'm not thinking about the cleaning up of my inventory. I just don't even got to worry about it. And then the next day you're like, crap, I should have cleaned up my inventory. It's costing me a bunch of time. I have to search for stuff every day. If I just went out there for a couple hours and fixed it all, I could save myself a bunch of time long-term. So number 1 is make the list. Always make the list and always check it off. Now you can use notepads, which I love, notepads, sticky pads on your phone or computer. You can also use Google Sheets. I do that a lot. I create a lot of lists in Google Sheets so that I know what's coming up. That's generally my long-term stuff, like bills and investments and different things like that. You can also use apps. There's a lot of great apps. So Motion is like an auto AI scheduling calendar thing where you can schedule out all your days. Monday.com is great for teams and companies. If you have an assistant or you have an employee, that's a great thing, Monday.com. A lot of these things have free trials that you can try them out. They also have free plans that don't come with all the features, or they have paid plans. There's another one that's called Asana, ASANA. You can look that up. They have paid plans. They also have free ones. They used to have free ones. I don't know if they're about anymore. I used to love that one. I probably am going to look into maybe using Asana or Monday.com. Again, I love them. The Motion one is more of a calendar type thing. It's AI and it will arrange stuff if you do meetings or calls or Zoom calls or live shows or what have you. Whatever it is you choose to do, app, website, Google Sheets, Notepad, create it. That's step one. Step two is stick to it. Stick to it. By that, I mean set alarms. So a lot of the apps and websites will tell you, they'll ding, they'll notify you, they'll say, hey, you've spent an hour recording videos. It's now time to move on and clean up your inventory. And in an hour, it's going to tell you it's time to do shipping or whatever it is you set it up as, right? Really great. They'll notify you to your phone. They'll ding, they'll set off an alarm. They'll set off my, Knight Rider theme music that I have on my phone. True story. That's my ringtone is Knight Rider. I love it. But that's step two is stick to it. Make sure you are putting time limits. So a lot of the apps and the websites will ask you, how long should shipping take? And you could be realistic about it. Like, okay, I think I can do it in 45 minutes. Let me give myself an hour to get it done. So set the alarm for an hour each day, right? And so those projects and those tasks, you can just duplicate and say, every day I'm gonna spend an hour shipping. If you start selling a ton more stuff, give yourself an hour and 15, an hour and 30. Stick to the plan. Don't get off task. And that is where everyone loses their butts. They get off task like, oh, I'm going to watch 30 minutes of Joey on Friends. And all of a sudden, you forgot to do your inventory inside of your spreadsheet. And now you got to go back and do your inventory in your spreadsheet. But now you got to cook dinner for the kids. And now you're way behind. And now that task gets put till tomorrow. And now tomorrow's behind. Stick to it. Alarms, notifications, whatever it is you have to do. Ding yourself. Buy yourself one of those like electrical bracelets that zaps you if you're doing wrong and have it zap you. Just kidding, don't do that. But you guys get the point. Step two, after you make the list, is stick to them. Find a way to stick to it. And number three is probably the easiest one. And we mentioned it just a minute ago. Right over there, right? Remove the distraction, guys. Stop watching TV, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube. That is causing you to stop what you're doing. If you can listen to stuff and keep working, that's great. I do it every day. But there are some people that think they can listen to stuff, think that they can process what the podcast is saying and process what it is they're trying to think about while they're typing or typing a description. I could tell you I didn't used to be good at it. I would type a description and I'd be listening to a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel would say something like, we loved our trip to Disneyland today. And I'm typing about a Nike shirt and I'll be typing like large Nike Disney shirt. And I'm like, wait, what a minute. And that's because that was what I was hearing in my head was the background noise of the YouTube channel. Now I've gotten very good at filtering that out now and I don't do that anymore, but some of you are not capable of handling that. It's not a bad thing. It's just your brain doesn't work in the, compartmentalizing phases of separating things out. You just start typing and you hear what you hear and that's what happens. So if you can do that, great. If you can't, just be honest with yourself. Just say you can't listen to two things at once or three things because you're going to screw yourself up. Also, turn everything off. Put yourself in a room, if you possibly can, that doesn't have any of these distractions. Make sure you don't have a PlayStation or a YouTube. If you're on, a computer, I don't want you to treat yourself like a kid with kid access, but minimize all that stuff. Open it up, minimize it all, keep it all closed out, sign out of it, make it hard and difficult to get into stuff so that you just sit and work and do what you have to do. Time management is not on its face value difficult. It's more of a subconscious mind over matter thing. Like you can't think about the Candy Crush on your phone or the YouTube video that's playing in the background or the TV show that's going or the people that are at your front door, like that it's super beautiful outside and you want to go outside and hang out or any of this other stuff. You have to really focus, set that alarm and stick to it. Yeah, so that's kind of my 3-step plan to time management, controlling being an at-home working person. Also, guys, if you do have distractions, kids, all that other stuff, be honest and upfront with anybody around you that's in your life about, hey, look, I have to work. I'm going to go in my office for an hour or 2 or 3 hours. This is not just because, mom or dad is home or Casey's here and he's available that you guys can just come and distract and knock on the door simply because I can. You have to make people around you aware that you have things that have to get done and you have to do them and that they need to leave you alone. I hang a door knocker on my door upstairs in my office. It's a true story. I'll show you. But it says recording in progress. So whenever I record videos that are not out and about in the house, I convey that message to Katie where I'm like, hey, I'm going to my office. I need to record for an hour. I need to type on the computer. I have a Zoom call. I have a live show with List Perfectly. Whatever it is I have going on, I make sure I say that. And then while I'm in there, if she needs something, she can always text me and I can answer the text or whatever. But when I have stuff to do, I have stuff to do. And that's something you have to take control of in your life and just let everyone around you know. And they have to be understanding of that you have a job. Just because you're at home, it's still a job. And if it pays the bills and it contributes money, then it's something you have to do. If you were at work, you couldn't just say, oh, hang on, my kids want me to go watch Friends on TV with them real quick. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to treat it the same as you would treat any other job or task or career or whatever. So that's all that, removing those distractions and just being upfront and being honest about it and getting it done. And that's kind of my closing statement for you guys. Be honest about the amount of work that you're getting done. If you are all over the place and you're not getting done what you should get done and you're not making lists and you're not finishing the list on a regular basis, realistic lists, don't make your list like 5,000 items long, overwhelm yourself, not get them done, and then get mad at yourself because, oh my God, I didn't go to the moon today. Make a realistic list, but if you're not getting it done, then you've got to change what you're doing. The old saying, it's stupid to keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It's not going to happen. And don't make yourself a little two-line list that says wake up, eat food, and that's your list for the day. That doesn't count either. Don't try to do, cut corners and get out of it the quick way, because I know a lot of you watching me are going to say, oh, if I just put 2 things on my list, then I'll make sure I get done everything all day. No, make a very ambitious list. Don't go overboard, but make a list that pushes yourself each day and figure out how long every task is getting you or taking you to get done. Line in and lock in on those tasks and say, okay, I know this takes an hour. I know this takes an hour, and I know this takes an hour. Those 3 things have to get done every day. It's 3 hours of my day. Here's the next set of things. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes an hour and a half. And start getting an idea of if I do all this, I know I can get it done in 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. What else can I add on? I have a 9, 10 hour time block of work I can do today. What else can I put on my list to get done in another hour or 2? So be ambitious, don't overwhelm yourself, but also don't cut corners and try to get away with being lazy all day. Oh, I woke up, I ate, and I took a nap. That's my to-do list. Look, I wish I could join you in that. I love it, but we can't. We got to get stuff done, and that's what this video is about, is your time management, your distractions, your lists, your to-dos, your checklist, and all that good stuff. I know this is the boring part of the business, but it's the important part, because 90% of the people that I coach and help have time management issues exactly like I have. And I've had them for a long time, and I work on them every day. And a lot of days I'm very, very good about it. And a lot of days I have a lot of distractions. And it's not anything to do with me. It's just simply the life that I live, the people that are in my life, the things that I have going on, the amount of things I have going on is a little bit overwhelming for me. So sometimes the time management gets out of hand, and I do my best to control it. And when I have to do it, I have to do it. And when I don't, I don't. So that's kind of how I'm practicing what I'm preaching to all of you. As always, thank you guys for watching. I want to close this video also by wishing again, if you didn't see my last video, all the people in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of the states that were impacted by Hurricane Helene, that there is such an incredible amount of flooding and damage that you can't even imagine. I don't think a lot of people understand how much damage it did after it cleared Florida. It did its damage here. Of course, we're Floridians. We're sort of used to it. It still isn't any better. Our hearts are out to all the Florida coast people that got impacted. But the people that are in Tennessee, North Georgia, Kentucky, over in the Western Carolinas, they're not as used to this or ready for this as we are in Florida. We prepare for this year after year after year. And when floods come through areas like Asheville, North Carolina, Swannanoa, which I actually have family in, they're good to go. They live up on a mountain 10,000 feet in the air. They're fine. But a lot of their neighbors down the mountain are not so good in downtown Asheville and Swannanoa. So those towns are not prepared like we are for these devastating, damaging storms. And they really could use our help. They could use this country's help. And hopefully things get together, get straight, and they take care of this and they help these people out. Because it's just devastating to see what happened. I know what it looks like here in Florida. I can't imagine what it's like in any of the other states, whatever state you're in and devastated in. There's a lot of good places. Make sure you're donating to the right causes. You're not getting scammed. Make sure you're donating to places that are actually taking it to where it's needed. And hopefully these people get back on their feet. Hopefully they had some insurance. Hopefully the federal government and FEMA steps in and helps those that can't be helped. And they can get that power and that internet and that communication, that clean water and everything to them as quickly as possible. As well, if you want to see the other video, I'll put it down below. We're fine here in Florida. We are very, very lucky where we live. We always get passed by these storms. I laugh about it, but it's not funny, but it is, because there's some kind of Seminole Indian curse in this area that keeps these storms away from us. So we'll take it wherever we can get it. But That's it. That's the video today. I appreciate you guys being here. As always, thank you so much. If you need any kind of help, rockstarflipper@gmail.com is my direct email 7 days a week. I answer all of them myself, every single email. Down below is some helpful links. They will be List Perfectly, My Reseller Genie Mark II, software, accounting, your taxes, and your cross-listing programs, along with my listing service, ecommercelisters.com. And if you want me to audit or review your store and help you out with more than just your time management, rockstarflipper@gmail.com is the email. I have 1 week, 2 week, and 4 week plans. As always, stay safe, guys. Make that money. Enjoy it. Email me if you have questions, and I'll talk to everyone next time.